Hello and welcome back. Alright, so I lined up the panels, made a line going the whole way around for the B pillar. Then I lined up the C pillar, so I made a mark the whole way around. And this gives me about an inch of extra hanging over to where the other, well actually this one's measured right to it, so I'm going to cut down below it. And this one I measured is pretty close, so I'm going to cut down below it too or whatever. So I'm going to cut these off, cut that off, and I took all the measurements that I think I need. I measured from there to there, there to there, and also I put a 3/8 bolt or all thread through there, and I measured from the top of this to the top of this hole. So I measured it straight up. So I put those in the right spot, along with these being lined up. So it should get me pretty close. And I measured, yeah, like I said, over to there. I also measured the width going across from up here, down here, and everything. So I took a bunch of different measurements around the door frame, both sides, in the 3 different places. So hopefully I can get everything in the same place. So I'm going to cut these off right now. Okay, so I cut the sucker off. B pillar is now cut off, and there's nothing there now. Couldn't quite commit yet, but I think I'm gonna end up cutting that right on the line, or just below the line here. I'm gonna cut that out. So the B pillar's done. You can see there's nothing there now. C pillar, cut that off. I had it down a little lower, and I realized that this repair panel actually goes all the way up here, but then I can't weld up inside here, so I'm going to cut the panel off a little bit, and I cut that going across. Just cleaned it up as best I could, but I'll get in there and clean it up a lot straighter. So there's where it bolts down, and this piece of aluminum actually goes right along with it. So, and as I was cutting this out, I noticed down here, this is the bracket that actually holds the sill on. It goes the seal that goes the whole way across. So I'm going to cut these bolts off, and clean up this bracket. So then when I put in the seal that goes across, I'll have nice fresh bolts right here and a nice bracket to bolt that onto. Okay, so next step is cutting those off and cleaning it up, and maybe I'll throw the seal in there next or whatever. Alrighty, bye-bye. Okay, I got the sill on, and that's not seal, it's S-I-L-L. That's what the British call that, a sill. So I got that bolted on. Used the nut plate up here, bolted in there. Those nuts you could barely even reach up underneath and everything. So let's see here. Interesting thing is that the repair panel actually has a notch cut out of it right here to clear your cross member and going over. Okay, so then your seat mounts onto here, bolts onto this part and onto your B pillar, which is gone. And then you have over here, this is the bracket that I showed earlier. I cut it off and cleaned it up, and in order to give you adjustability in it, I used, they have slots in here, and they have slots in here, and slots up, well there's slots up inside here or whatever, and on the bracket and over here, so you can move and adjust this up, down, around, in and out, maybe a little bit here, to line it up with the door pillars here. So I used 5/16 fine thread bolts here, 3/4 inch with 2 washers. So I snugged them all up. They're down tight, but I actually put it right in the same spot the old washers were. They rusted in the spot and made a spot on it. So actually it has to move down just a little bit or whatever to match up, but I did that, lined up there, and it kind of got it pretty straight to where I need to be. So the next thing is going to be the B pillar right here. I'm gonna line it up here. I'll show you here in a sec. Okay, here's the B pillar right here. So you see this tab here in the back here rest up against the back of the seal piece here. So I bring this over, and I see that my line that I made here is actually pretty exact from where the old one was to where I lined up with these holes here. I lined up with those ones, got that here, so I'm going to cut this off right here at this line, going across. Then the front piece, the cover, that came with it's actually taller than where I'm going to be cutting right here. So I'm just going to cut it straight across right here, all the way across. And then I'll trim off this front part as needed after we get this piece on. See there? And see it has a front cover, there's the back. This tab goes on here and it gets you lined up with the sill going there. So I'm going to cut this off now here and then actually get this part to go up inside there and put it in place. Alright, so I cut it off and it got pretty close. So it's actually fitted in there. And the reason why I'm saying pretty close, because I could only get one bolt in right here. And the rest of them are all kind of actually too low. They actually raised up, so I have to trim a little bit more of this off to get that up there. But it lines up. It's pretty... I have to say YRM, they're pretty exact with their pieces because the profile going around this is perfect. It's almost exactly perfect as the original one. So there it is. It's kind of had to tap it in to get it in there snug, but she's in there for a test fit. So I'm pretty happy with that so far. For a test fit, that's pretty good. So I got that in place. I'm going to adjust this down. Oh no, wait, I have to lift it up. So I need to cut some of this away. That's what it is. And then I can lift that up just a little bit, lift the sill up a little bit more, and it should line up with the holes where it needs to be. So I'm going to take that out, cut that off a little bit, and get that in there a little bit better. And then I'm going to do the C-pillar and test fit that next. Okay, I got the C-pillar now test fit in there. I had to cut off the panel and grind it down and keep grinding until it fit in that area. So it's tricky to get this to line up straight because this is actually on an angle and that's on an angle going this way. So that's why I just kind of cut it long and then kept trimming it down and everything. So I got it to fit in there. These holes back here, they line up pretty close. You can see that one's not too bad. If I trim it, once I push it into place, it should fit into this hole. But this one's not even close because this bracket here is actually welded to this correctly. On the original piece, the old piece, look what they did. They actually pushed or bent the bracket out a little bit and welded the top part of it. So that made this hole actually go inside more than what it actually what it should be. So I'll just re-drill this hole here or whatever to get it to fit in there. So this is actually kind of curved here to get down to this, down to the sill. So, and also this piece here has to slide down into here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the original piece and trim it off, but I'm going to stick it in here as a spacer because it actually caps this end off here. So I'm going to slide it down in there, use it as a spacer, tack weld these around, weld this all around here, and push it into place. You actually have to push it this way to get it to line up. So I'll put that in there as a spacer, push everything around, get it into place, do some welds on it, and then pull that panel out, the spacer out, and it should stay in place. Then I can finish welding it, and I actually put the bolts in there too or whatever. But all right, so test fit of the C pillar, test fit of the B pillar, and the sill going across is I feel is a pretty good success, and I'm pretty amazed that it's all coming together pretty nicely so far and quickly. So this is a rare sight right here to actually see 3 pillars in one shot, and they're all in one piece, and the sill going across holding it. So this will be the end of the video. I got them test fit, and I'm probably going to maybe move things around a little bit more, or maybe clean things up. I actually have to do all the measurements. I haven't measured anything yet, so I'm going to measure everything up, and then maybe I'll start welding it together and getting it together. It's just moved so fast, it's surprising or whatever. So, alright, so that's the end of the video. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, subscribing, and sharing, and comments. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.